Welcome back to DXB today. Tonight, talking all about weddings and marriage. Now, there's a lot of talk of the dress and the cake and the venue and the centerpieces and the color scheme, but there's also the legalities to consider. Planning all that stuff is fun. How many guests you're going to get, but you do need to worry, or think at least, about the legalities. You need to know about and where to find all of that information and to answer some of your legal questions when it comes to marriage in the UAE. We're very happy to have lawyer María Rubert, the founder of Rubert and Partners. Maria, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I'm actually so happy because this is what I'm interested in, is the legal stuff. And I know that the UAE recently passed a bunch of new different laws. I know that people used to sometimes go abroad to get married just because it was easier, but that's all different now, isn't it?
It is very different since 2021 with a law in Abu Dhabi that permitted civil marriages. Now, then in 2022, we had a new law amending the civil status situation. And then just now, from 15th April 2025, we have a new law that kicked in, a new personal status law. So everyone is very confused. People reach out to me, Maria, you told me that the default rule is now joint custody, but I'm reading Article 114 and it says that guardianship goes to the father. Like, relax, let me explain to you. It's a bit confusing at the moment. Yeah. In very brief, the law from 2022, Federal Law 41, 2022, applies to non-Muslims. Be it you can be an Emirati, non-Muslim, or non-Muslim expat, yeah, non-Muslims. Now, the law in Abu Dhabi from 2021 and the law now, the new law from 2024 applies to everyone.
Okay.
Yeah, unless, yes, you decide to apply your law. But what is your law? Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay.
I think it's important to clarify that the UAE has moved significantly ahead. 21st century is here for real in terms of marriages. So law, especially from 2022, brings two things. If we think about the new law 2022 for expats, this is equality and freedom. Equality in what? Equality in testimony. Before, only men could give testimony. Now, men and women. Divorce. You can choose to divorce for no reason. Men,
as a woman?
Yeah, as a woman as well. Yeah, equality, men and women. And then you also have equality, joint custody. If you recall before, custody was always for the mom, and if the kids were under a certain age. And also, 2022 brings inheritance. Now, girls and boys, men and women will get the same.
Okay.
Yes, but remember, 2022 law is for non-Muslims.
Yeah.
Yes, and then also it brings freedoms, testamentary freedom. You can do a will, and you can decide whatever you want to decide. Of course, you should look into your national law to ensure that you respect your passport law. Yeah.
Then
can I just ask? Yeah, I was like, can I just ask a question? So you said that the 2022 law is for non-Muslims. What happens if you're in a mixed marriage where one of you is Muslim and one of you is not?
But that's where we come in, and at the moment it's very confusing because the law came in on the 15th of April 2025, just one month ago, but the regulations are not out.
Okay.
So, and it's more confusing because the 2024 does not abolish, let's say, the 2022 law. So both are valid.
Okay.
I think that's fantastic from a wedding planning perspective, because obviously Dubai as a city in itself is extremely progressive and has become such a great destination. I mean, I would definitely say it's in the top 5 of, you know, destination weddings per se. And to know that there's so much more fluidity for a couple, it just makes it the most prime destination.
Definitely, in Abu Dhabi, even tourists can get married with their passports.
Oh wow!
In Dubai as well. In Dubai, you cannot. You have to be. One of them needs to be a resident in Dubai. Yeah. Whereas in Abu Dhabi, you can be a resident of Dubai and get married in Abu Dhabi.
And what is the process time to get married?
Literally, if you want to get married tomorrow in Abu Dhabi, there is an express fee of 2,500 dirhams, and you don't need an appointment. You just show up during the
Thinking about it, Lane?
Have you got a lady in mind?
I thought we were going to Jordan.
It's not.
What I'm quite interested in is the legal aspect in terms of prenuptial agreement. Now, in the UK, it's not really a big thing. In the US, it's massive. What's it like here, and how does it work here in the UAE?
This is a very good question, and we go back to that 2022 law, because that 2022 law speaks about prenups. So more freedoms, so many things. When you have freedom, you have many things to think about. And it's very important that you think about it, because sometimes when you get married, it's too late. You need to negotiate much more for that post-nap. Here, they're very common. Again, Abu Dhabi has the lead at the moment. Big Y, normal, because they started in 2021. So literally, when you get married, you can click, I want a prenup and I want a will. Like, yes, like a menu.
Wow.
Yeah, I want fries and I want. It's very fast and very easy. Yeah.
Outside of weddings here and marriages here, what a lot of people do, they get married somewhere else and they want to get their spouse a visa, so you have to attest the marriage documents. Does the UAE follow whatever the law of the attested document is, or will it make amendments to that marriage document?
That's a very, you mean when they bring the documents and we need to decide?
So I'm going to get married in Jordan.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it under Jordanian law. As I understand it, I need to attest it at the UAE embassy.
Yes.
Bring it over here, attest it again. Does it follow the exact same conditions as the one in Jordan, or does it differ once it gets here to the UAE?
Oh, okay, this will be important.
Do I need a lawyer?
Always. And I tell you one thing, bringing in a lawyer when you don't think you need it will avoid that you have many lawyers later on. And I find in marriages that everyone is so happy. We are so happy, we are getting married, and we don't think about that prenup. We don't think about those documents. And I think it's the same as a will. You need to think about it once, and then you're at peace. You put it behind you, but it's important to get it done. The documents, yes, but this is important because the law says that you can choose your law. But what is your law? Your law, your wife's law, the law of the place where you got married, and even if you are successful, you will need to prove that law, which implies that you need to bring attested the full law from Jordan and explain it to the judge. So as you can expect, it's difficult because the judges here don't know the law.
Sharia law. It's easy.
See, this is why I stick to the wedding planning part. I get the good side of it, where I'm like, you know, the emotion but I think it's really interesting to be. I guess we're on two ends of the spectrum, isn't it?
Yeah, I was hoping to get that question. You know, what is your most expensive divorce?
Yeah. What
There you go. I like that.
We're in competition now.
I also want to know, what was your quickest divorce?
Quickest divorce, you can get divorced very easily in the UAE if you agree on the terms.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
If you agree on the terms, or even if you don't agree on the terms, it's also easy. But there is a messy part later on in terms of financials and custody. But you can ask for the divorce for no reason and you will get it. Now, you have to decide the financials and the custody in a new case later on. So getting divorced is fast.
Wow.
It's easy. Okay.
2-3 months, I would say.
Good to know.
I guess the emotional play, you know, for us, there are many times where, you know, Rian was saying earlier that, you know, the grooms get nervous equally, you know, and we're there in that moment, even if it's a speech. You know, I remember doing a wedding anniversary and the gentleman was so afraid, and you know, I was with him backstage rehearsing his speech with him because every single word mattered so much. These emotions are real, and we're there to kind of cushion it. And I guess it's the same thing on your spectrum, but on the other side, you know, where they've kind of gone through that journey of life.
It's family matters are the most difficult as lawyers because it's the greatest risk. You know, money comes and goes, but a family is difficult, and to organize a family is also difficult.
Yes.
Thank you, Maria, for being with us. Thank you for giving us all of your advice. So many people are going to need you on speed dial. I think I definitely do for my next wedding. Yeah, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.